This is a full-size Mine Lab pan. There is the Gold Core pocket pan for a bit of size comparison. And look at the black. Like, there is so much of it there. It's just ridiculous. G'day guys, Chris here from Vo-Gus Prospecting. If you're new to the channel, it's great to see all your smiling faces. And if you're an old moldy hat just like this one, welcome back to another episode. And on this episode, I'm going to teach you guys about how to find the best gold on any creek or river system. Almost, disclaimer, guaranteed. There isn't a week that goes by where I don't get messages in my inbox from people asking me about giving them a location that they can go to find some gold. I've found though a lot of people come back and say I couldn't find any gold there, which is surprising because I know that the places I send people generally have a lot of gold. And that made me realize that there's a knowledge gap between the ability to test pan and the actual application of it on the creek. This looks like a good inside bend. I reckon there might be some gold here. I'm gonna grab the high banker and set it up. But what did that guy on YouTube say? He said I've got to take a test pan to make sure that there's good gold here. I can see at least half a dozen specks in there. And he was saying that half a dozen specks is really good. I reckon this will be the spot that I should mine. Now please take that for what it is. It's just a generalization. In fact, I'm very guilty of doing exactly that when I first started. This is not how you test pan. Taking a pan of dirt from a likely spot where you think there might be gold is a good idea, because obviously that's how you're going to know if there's gold in the pan or gold in the ground before you start working. However, it's not how you find the best gold. And I promise you this, your gold pan is the best gold detector ever made. It will lead you straight to the gold, no matter where you are, if you know how to do two things: Reedy Creek and follow the information that the pan's giving you. Here's our likely spot. We have a beautiful run of very large rocks in a nice line, and it comes around the outside bend here, and then it rips in under my feet and spits itself up onto this inside bend. This section here is a very good spot to check for gold because there's a big accumulation of gravel creating this inside bend. Now what I'm looking for when I first come up here are the indicators of gold. There are a couple here that make it really easy for me. We have large iron rich rocks. Now, these are heavy, so they tell me that it's likely that gold will be dropping out with them. We also have a mix of sizes. So we've got large bouldery rocks, we've got lots of cobble rocks like this here, and we've got fine gravels all mixed in together. If you have one type of rock that's dominating the rest of them, then you're probably in the wrong spot, and that's like up here. You see up here, we've got very little large rock. It's mostly this fine cobble and fine stone with none of this sort of rock mixed in with it. This spot would likely not be very good, but we don't know until we do a test pan. So we were looking for the indicators of gold, which were the heavy runs of ironstone and mixed in cobble. And if we stand back here, we can actually see the large rocks stream in here. They kind of fork out into a funnel, and they run up over this bank, and they run through where I've already been working. But more importantly, they run down and through this channel, and we can follow that line. I need to know A, if that line has gold in it, B, where it ends either side, and C, how deep it is. Let's get test panning. Here we've got a virgin untouched area of this line. Now I'm going to take 3 pans. I'm going to take a pan from in amongst these really large rocks. I want to know what's hanging out in those really large rocks. Then I'm going to move across. I'm going to take a test pan from where this ironstone is, and I'm going to take a test pan up near where my shovel is, which was the first pan that you saw. And we're going to look at the spec counts and the types of heavies that are sitting in those pans to identify where the gold is actually running. And this is important for one reason. I would rather work 10 buckets of a pay streak rather than dig a hole that's 50 buckets and only increase my gold take by a small percentage. For the sake of accuracy, all my pans are going to be the same. I implore you to do exactly the same thing. I'm going to put 3 shovels of dirt in each pan. Let's get this one cleaned out and see what we see. This is the result from the first pan. I've got a lot of micro dots up the top here, a couple of nicer ones over on this side. That's probably the biggest bit just there. Hopefully you can make out some of them. So maybe about 8 bits of gold, most of them pretty small. Now what we're going to do is tip this into the bucket so we don't get them mixed up. Now our next test pan is going to come out of right here where this ironstone concentration is. You can see that was the first hole I dug. We're moving about 1.5 foot over to take it out of where I suspect the best gold will be, simply because of that ironstone. All right, okay, here is the gold we got from that pan. Much better size. The size got a lot better. There's also a lot more heavies. There's a lot more ironstone running through it, and overall the spec count's probably up towards the 30 or 40 pieces of gold, which is an excellent take for one pan. That would add up very quickly sluicing. We're going to take the next sample out from this spot here. Now, this is where I did that satire joke at the start. I actually want to dig down a little bit to get on the same plane as those two holes, the same level. That is important in test panning. Make sure you take it from the same level. So way less heavies, but we do have a lot of fine gold up in that top corner. I don't know, you're probably not going to be able to see it, but there's about 10 bits of very fine gold there. This is quite clearly, as I've already worked out from here, the pay streak. It starts about here, give or take, and ends about here, and it's right in the middle of that ironstone, so we can literally take all the dirt out from here and here, down about 5 inches and run it through a sluice and know that we're going to get good gold. Now if I had a high banker, lots of energy and stuff, cleaning up the top surface layer of this entire inside bend would be ideal, because there's a lot of micro gold, but I'm only using a river sluice, and this means I can cherry pick. This is what test panning has allowed me to do. I'm only going to take the pay streak out, and by doing that I should maximize my amount of gold for the least amount of effort, and then I can spend the rest of the time with my shovel and pan up the creek looking for another deposit. There's a few links in the description that will give you more information about sampling. What I really wanted to show you today was the process of test panning and why you would do it. So we're doing it for the sake of efficiency. I now know exactly where the best gold is and which direction it is going. I can then utilize the information that I get from my test pans to then apply that to other areas. What can I expect from this creek when the gold is going to be good? And that's exactly what I've done numerous times on many creeks. So it takes time to learn your system, it takes time to learn your indicators of gold, but once you do, walking out and doing your test pans is really easy. That's four. I've done 4 shovels, and it's probably yellow rock, but it looks like a really big nugget. I really hope that that's a nugget, not a yellow rock. Ah, it's a yellow rock. Screen 10 litre bucket down, we've got a good 20 bits of gold sitting on the mat. I've seen a couple of nicer chunks go down the sluice, so they'll be in these cells somewhere. The thing I really want to show you though is just the amount of ironstone that is sitting on top of that gold wrap mat. That's a lot, and that came straight off the top part of like an old bottle. Looks like an old gin bottle or something. Really, really cool. Also a great indicator for where gems are. Glass and gems often weigh similar amounts, so if you find lots of glass, or especially old glass, you're probably going to come in contact with some gems if you're in the right area. Nothing better than doing this. This is easy gold. I implore everyone, if you've had a major flood in your area, especially you guys over in the US, Canada, Europe, who are all under ice at the moment, when those ices melt and the floods come through, hit your favorite spot first with a metal detector, pick up any nuggets that might be just sitting on the surface, because they do after floods. And your gold, do your test pans, find the flood gold layer, just go through, pick it up. Easy gold. Anyone could get it. I could do this spot with a pan if I had more energy, but I was out all morning helping a couple find enough gold to make some wedding rings on their private property. Virgin Creek, awesome. Maybe I'll film there one day, I don't know, we'll find out. But point is, I'm knackered, so we're doing this the easy way. SLUICE. Second bucket done, and this mat is starting to look tasty. Lots of specks of gold. I've seen quite a few specks go down into these cells as well. I need this, because there is a nice blue sapphire in the mat and I don't want it to disappear on me. It's moving around quite violently and it's scaring the bejesus out of me that it's going to disappear. It's in this cell right here. I hope you can see the blue color coming out. We're going to try and suck it up. We're going to try. No promises of what's going to happen here. Well, I completely emptied that cell, so assumably it's in here. To the subscriber that sent me the message about the in bucket classifier, Wayne's meant to be working on one. Dude, I want that thing so bad. That's my 5th bucket, and I have about halfway through it, so I've run 4.5 buckets, and there is so much ironstone in here. I'm 100% sure that I will blow all of my fine gold out if I keep going this way. So we're going to give it a quick clean out. I'm not going to reveal the gold. I just want to put it in my pan and then keep sluicing and get this pay streak done. Okay, back to sluicing. Well, I'm done. 6 buckets, 60 litres of dirt I worked today. Pretty casuals going. I would have loved to have completely finished. We started up there, we just took the top off through this section here up until right there, and this is just one of my test pan holes from the other day. Ooh, I saw a bit in there and I was like trying to flick it out. It's a little specimen. Look at this. Look at this. Gold on quartz. Gold on quartz. That is awesome. Oh, I like that. Right, you can go in the pan. Bloop. Got several nice bits just sitting here in the mat too. This is just from 2 buckets, so there's not tons, but there's still enough to get you excited that you might have an okay cleanup. Yes, I wonder what's hiding under all this. There's our concentrates for the 60 litres. There's some nice gold just popping up just randomly in that corner. I've found another little specimen, not just the one you saw me put in the pan, but there was a second one that revealed itself, which was pretty damn cool. So we've got 2 specimens of sapphire. Now I'll clean this up, see how much gold we got. Well, there is the gold we got for 60 litres of dirt. It's going to take me a long time to separate it from all of that black sand. There's a fair amount there. I'd guess around maybe a half a gram, give or take, which is pretty good. 2 specimens, half a gram, 1 sapphire, just working the surface gravels across here, and all because of test panning. I mean, you could dig deeper here, and I've done it, and the gold disappears. So it just goes to show you, doing those little test pans really means that you can hone in on where the best deposits are. You don't have to work too hard. You can still come out with some good gold. Well, it's that time, guys. I am about to head home and put this stuff on the scales. I'll throw up the total weight at the end here for you once I finally get around to separating the gold from that black sand. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope it's also shown you the value of test panning regularly and trying different spots, even very close together, as close as a foot, so you don't miss out on a beautiful pay streak that you could be literally inches from. Remember to hit that like, share, and subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of my future videos. Make sure you hit that little bell on the bottom corner, because I've got a couple of competitions coming up that you're not going to want to miss out on. We're going to give away some gold. We're also going to give away some free crevicing tools. All right, guys, hope to catch you out here sometime. Peace, and I'm out.